Alright, welcome back to the shooting table. We're looking at another SIG today. We got the 226 RX Elite and single action only. So let's take a look at it. I got some shooting clips here we're gonna throw in here, but at first let's start by just kind of doing an unboxing here. Of course, you're gonna have the lock and the paperwork and all that stuff, but I did buy this secondhand like I do most of my guns and traded for it. And this is going to look a little bit different than what you would buy if you ordered this or bought it in a store. This particular one has Legion grips on it, and it's got a Silencer Co. threaded barrel. So that's going to look a little bit different. Everything else will be the same. That's the only two upgrades to the gun. Now, it's got the RX basically. It's got the Romeo 1 sight milled out for it, and it comes with it from the factory. And this one is in single action only, which if anybody knows the way I like my guns, I like them single action only for all steel guns that I'm not going to carry. So it had the upgraded Legion grips. That's something you'll have to decide if you want. The grips that come with it are okay, but these really make this gun pop. Makes it look like a Legion to an extent. The other version of this gun, of course, this gun's pretty much competing against the Legion, so you have to decide whether it's worth the extra money to you to have the Legion finish, be in the Legion club, get the Legion grips, which are very, very nice grips, and the SIG X-ray sights. Now, the X-ray sights are a big plus for me. I would say, if the price is there, get it for the grips and the X-ray sights, because you're looking about $300 right there. These grips are $150, and the sights are right there with it. So if it's an extra $300 and those two things are something you plan on upgrading, then you might just want to go ahead and get the Legion, because they have it in an RX single action only version. Now, it does have the flat trigger in the Legion, and the flat trigger you can't get. The only company out there, as far as I'm aware of, now please, if somebody else knows a company that is making a flat trigger for a single action only 226, please let me know. That's not Armory Craft. I don't care for the Armory Craft trigger. I don't like the skeletonized. I don't like how wide it is. It's a good trigger, don't get me wrong, but I just don't care for it. I had one in my stainless steel Elite, if you remember that video. I like the gray gun style trigger that they put in the Legion. It's just a flat, and it's got a little L shape at the bottom. It's a perfect trigger. So that's another thing the Legion gives you and offers you for just a couple hundred more, I do believe, and you might be able to find them for the same price. So shooting this gun shoots extremely well. I took it out today, and the gun shoots extremely well. Very minimal recoil for 9mm. I mean, if 9mm has a lot of recoil. The trigger feels great, especially when you're shooting a little quicker. The reset on it's perfect. Very, very enjoyable to shoot. I loved it. Put a few mags through it, as you can see in the video. Unfortunately, the sight wasn't sighted in, so I was trying to co-witness through the sights. Wasn't hitting very well, but I did try to get a little bit better view of the gun recoiling, and so you could kind of get an idea of the recoil on it, which is almost none. I mean, this gun, you get a nice high grip on it, and my 115 grain reloads I was shooting right now is they're pretty light anyway, so this gun was almost like shooting a little 22. Same with the stainless Elite. Most of the big SIGs are. But once you take that single action only trigger, which we'll weigh here in a few minutes, it really makes it, I mean, even more accurate. It's a lot better shooting let's make sure this gun's empty, of course. I'll show you that since everybody gets a hard on about that. And I get it. The single action only trigger, that you don't have that much take up, just 3-pound break there. It can make you more accurate because you're not struggling to pull that trigger back. So that's another thing I love about single action on my guns. As much as I love striker fired guns, which in fact that's why my bench is so messy. I'm working on a Glock trigger back here. adjusting the pre-travel and things like that, trying to get it close to something like this, as close as you can. Plus the trigger on my Glock 40 sucks. It's one of the worst Glock triggers out of the box I've ever felt. So, and I can tell why after I've got into it and tore it all apart. So, the Sig Romeo 1 comes attached with it. This is a, let's see, what is this? This is 2.5 MOA or 3 MOA dot on this. If I see if you can see it there. Push button activate. It's got multiple different settings. This really isn't a Romeo 1 review, but it's a good sight. You know, I'm not all into the reflex sights and know everything about them to know, you know, their durability and everything like that. But, you know, as far as I've read, the Romeo is up there as being one of a good sight, being one of the better sights out there. So. Overall, the gun comes with two 15-round magazines, and of course, everything else in the box. Mine just doesn't have it in here right now. The standard grips, and of course, you won't have a threaded barrel unless you've ordered a special version. So as you can see right here, we're going to shoot some slow-mo and get a few shots off on the slow motion version. It's so as you can see, it handles the recoil extremely well for being, of course, it's just 9mm, so it's not that much. So let's go ahead and look at the trigger pull here. Once again, we're empty, safety off. Let's take our Lyman trigger gauge and see how close we can get to see what kind of pull we get or what kind of weight we're getting here. Three. 3.7. 3.7 again. If I had my thumb off the hammer, so average that out. It's about 3.5 pounds, and I would agree with that. I'll show you the brake here if I can. So it's got some take up there. It comes to a nice wall, but it's got a little creep, and then it breaks. Reset. Pretty. Oh, lost it. Hold on. There you go. Pretty short right there. Then it comes back to your wall, and it's a good brake. So overall, very well made gun. Of course, we know Sig doesn't make junk. If they did, they wouldn't have a good reputation when they wouldn't be able to sell their guns for $1,249. So this is one of those guns that, of course, every gun you purchase is up to you. But do you really need the do you need the Romeo? Do you need the well, that's pretty much it for the RX version. It's cut for the Romeo. So if you really would like the Romeo sight. Now, one thing I do not know, and I cannot answer for you, is that I'm not sure if they make any adapter plates that you can put another sight on. Of course, Sig wants you to use their Sig sight, and I'm sure maybe somebody's going to start making plates so you could attach an RMR or something else similar to this. So overall, we'll end on a last little bit of shooting videos there, and I hope y'all enjoy the video. I got a PPQ Q5 coming up next, so stay tuned for that video. We're going to do the same kind of thing. I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks for watching TST, and we'll see you next time.